Okay, today our guest speaker has been a Rotarian since September 2014. She is the current president of the Rotary Club of Auburndale. She's also the Coins for Alzheimer's Research Trust Rotary District 6890 chair. She retired from the Polk County Sheriff's Office as a lieutenant after 28 years of service. And just fun facts, she's an avid Gator fan, has the ultimate woman cave at home, and she went on a hunting safari in Namibia, Africa in 2010. Let's give a warm Rotary welcome to Linda Johnson.
I was going to say good morning because I'm used to a morning meeting. I had my meeting this morning at 7 o'clock, but it is good to be here. It's good to be a Rotarian. How many agree with that? Absolutely. I'm going to talk to you about CART today, which is Coins for Alzheimer's Research and Trust. I've got a video that I'm going to show you first, and then a PowerPoint that I'll be able to slice and dice a little bit so we can get you out of here on time. A couple of things, though. I want to tell you why I am doing CART. I volunteered to do this. I am your district chair over 4 counties. I've got Rotaractors even involved. We will end up having 100% club participation in this project, so I'm real excited about that because that's pretty unheard of. But you do have a blue bucket on your tables today, and I imagine you're probably going to see them in the coming weeks as well. So we'll tell you what you can do with those in just a little bit, but those are donation buckets. And you'll see what the program's about. One of the reasons I wanted to come is you've had a bucket in the back here, but you didn't know really what you were doing with putting your money in there probably. So when I give my money away, I want to know what I'm doing it for. Other than that, we're going to start in just a second on the video, but I do want to tell you about the Bald is Beautiful campaign. How many in here know our District Governor, Winnie Marble? Okay, Winnie and I talked her into this. The district conference is in May, the end of the first week, and Winnie and I have put a challenge out to all of our clubs, all 38 of them, plus the 2 Rotaracts. If we can raise between, well, we've already raised a lot, and you'll know about that in just a few minutes, but if we can raise $50,000 before then, Winnie and I are going to shave our heads at the conference. I'm hearing a lot of wows out there, and I've gotten a lot of mixed reactions on that, but I'll tell you this. My mother had cancer in 1975. She lost her hair, and she was still a beautiful woman, and it grew back. And absolutely. And we're not doing this for us. We're doing it to get the cause out there a little more and to get it known. Without further ado, let me give you this little bit. I want to tell you about why I'm doing it. I do it because of my mom. My mother, I grew up in a house with June Cleaver. My mom was June Cleaver. We went to church every Sunday and every Wednesday night. I was probably in church as much as I was school, and I did a lot of activities in school. When Mom cleaned the house, we had dinner every night together as a family. When she cleaned the house, she turned the stereo on. And for you younger people in here, there is such a thing as a stereo. And she would dance around the house as she cleaned house, and she would sing gospel songs and just whatever you can imagine. She couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, but I loved her voice, and I'd give anything to hear it again. But her last few years, especially her last few days on this earth, she was in a wheelchair, staring out into space. She always knew who I was, but it was not the same woman that I grew up with. And she passed away from dementia. It wasn't Alzheimer's, but it was a form of dementia. And when we talk today about Alzheimer's, we are including all dementia. There's over 100 different types. So without further ado, if you would go ahead and start the video, and we'll see that, and then I'll get back with you here in a few minutes and go over the PowerPoint.
You like singing in the choir?
Yes, I enjoy it.
What's your favorite song?
Probably Amazing Grace.
Really? Mm-hmm. Can you sing it?
Oh, do I have to?
Just a little?
I don't know that I can. Amazing Grace. I can't believe that I just lost, that I forgot it.
That's okay.
Okay, can I start over?
Yeah.
Amazing Grace.
This is Vera. Vera loves to sing, she loves to dance, and her memories are fading away.
Like me,
Vera has Alzheimer's disease. Today, there's no known cure, but some people are doing something to change that.
But now I see.
Alzheimer's disease. To many of us, it's just a memory loss disease. Every day, individuals battle Alzheimer's, many of them in memory care facilities, such as this one in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I got the opportunity to meet the delightful Vera. She lives here among caring staff and the friends she's made.
Hey, good. How are you?
Okay, come on over here. This is my new husband.
Vera and I sat down to talk about living with Alzheimer's disease.
How would you say Alzheimer's has affected your life?
You know what? I don't let it bother me, really. I feel like I'm blessed to be alive and to have what I have and be where I am. So I just say, oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, is that goofy? That's just the way I look at it, you know. That's just me.
Not everyone has Vera's sunny outlook on life. Dr. Ben Barr is one of many researchers working to unravel the mystery of Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's is a scary thought. Diseases, cancers, they don't lose your memories.
At Emory University, major research is being led by Dr. Alan Levy, who is quick to correct misconceptions about the disease.
Normal aging brings along some changes in how fast we think, and maybe we become forgetful of a few things. We might misplace our keys. But Alzheimer's disease is an actual brain disease where brain cells start degenerating.
Roger Ackerman of the Sumter, South Carolina Rotary Club is a prominent figure in the search for a cure.
Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Roger.
Unfortunately, in our family, we experienced Alzheimer's. My wife's wonderful mother, who was really a second mother to me, at age 70, she was just so dynamic. If you'd take a walk with her, you would really have to be able to keep up. But about 2 years later, we started noticing memory loss, little things. And unfortunately, it was Alzheimer's. But because she was in such good health, hers was a long, long goodbye. It was heartbreaking. Just imagine not being able to tell someone you're hungry. I need to go to the bathroom. My throat hurts. I mean, it is unbelievable that the change that comes over a very accomplished, loving lady.
Roger's pain is shared by other members of his Rotary Zone. Robert and Charlene Hall have been surprised at how many of their friends have been affected by Alzheimer's.
You know, Carl, I thought Alzheimer's was just something you heard about and it was older people, and I just didn't think it affected anybody I knew.
I found that Alzheimer's, almost everybody knows somebody that has this, some form of dementia.
Do you remember that first time that you were with your mother-in-law, that she didn't remember you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was probably 5 or 6 years before she finally passed. And I knew she didn't know who I was. It was very, very hard.
Mama was diagnosed in August of 2006. That was the day life changed. It changed for me personally as far as my mom and a mother-daughter relationship.
Tell me about your daughters.
Oh, my daughters. Now you're going to make me cry.
No.
My daughters are the best. And I feel so blessed to have my children that there's not words I can tell you.
There's going to be a lot of people with Alzheimer's, and that's going to be a huge crunch on national budgets, families, etc.
I don't know how, if I was 50 years old working and Charlene got Alzheimer's, I don't know what I'd do. I probably need to work. Well, what I'd do? I don't know what I'd do.
Alzheimer's is a costly and time-consuming illness. You would think such a serious issue demands a complex solution. But does it? Roger Ackerman decided to tackle the problem with a little help from his friends in Rotary.
I kept thinking Rotary could do something about research.
One day, while having lunch with a friend, the idea came to Roger unexpectedly.
And he said to me, he says, you know, $8 to $9 billion in coins change hands every day in America. That was an interesting fact. And at 3 o'clock the next morning, I came out of bed like a bolt, and I thought, that's it.
So, Roger decided to ask his Rotary Club to empty their spare change before the meeting. And this was the beginning of CART. He started at his local Rotary Club in Sumter, South Carolina, to test the concept.
And in about 7 or 8 months' time, we had raised $4,200. And we're not that big a club, so that was pretty darn good.
Today, that $4,200 has grown to many millions of dollars for research. But this was more than just a new way to raise money. CART funds go toward funding a very unique need in Alzheimer's research.
These funds we raised by putting a bucket on a table at breakfast or lunch, and you put your change or a dollar bill in them, went to research that was granted once a year with the funds we raised to something the federal government would not pay for.
High-risk things that are really likely to be impactful are the hardest things to get funded from the federal government. CART, it allows researchers to take their best ideas and get money to start doing the research.
CART came along right when we needed it. It's these types of funding avenues that give small research labs like mine ability to test a new idea that may not get funding from the bigger places like NIH.
100% of every donated dollar goes to research. We've never varied 1 second from that.
Do you have hope for your condition?
In my lifetime, not really. Now that's being pessimistic, isn't it? Is that the right word I was supposed to say there? But it might happen. It would be wonderful if it did.
So what do you do for fun now?
We have fun here a lot. We do. We laugh a lot.
Yeah. You like to dance?
Yes, I like to dance. In fact, I think I'm going dancing tonight. Somebody said. I hope so anyway.
Yeah. I have a question.
Sure.
May I have a dance?
Sure.
Research takes a long time. In the short term, there are many creative ways to improve the lives of Alzheimer's patients.
Now, tell me about these choirs.
Well, I have directed choirs throughout my life in church. Music's always been an important part of my life. We are doing a show, and that show has now been titled Songs of America. So we're doing patriotic, we're going to do a folk song or two, we're going to do a hymn.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the gulfing waters. This land was made for you and me.
There's some reports that say music therapy will really help people with Alzheimer's because it gives them a memory they can tie into and recall.
Now, Alzheimer's affects the entire brain, but for some reason it's kinder to the right temporal lobe. It's less affected than the rest of the brain.
So the part of the brain that's involved in storing memories for music and recognizing music is a little bit different than the part of the brain that gets affected primarily in Alzheimer's disease. So I suspect one of the reasons that people tend to respond well to music is because they still have that brain function.
Oh, good job.
Every year, CART holds an event to honor their grant recipients. And this year's event features some very special guests.
There's the Agape Singers.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? Good to see you again. You're looking good.
The annual event is the highlight of this program. It's when we receive our research grantees. They see grassroots people working on this, and it puts wind in their sail. I see them leave here with a more of a purposeful intent.
This lady's name is Carol Howe. She is the leader of a group called the Carol Howe Agape Singers.
Today I want to present to you the Agape Senior Choir from Rock Hill, South Carolina, and the Agape Joyful Voices from York, South Carolina, and they're going to be singing for you today.
Make the world go away and get it off my shoulders. Say the things you used to say.
I think we need community understanding of what happens. You know, people think it's kind of funny and it's, you know, it's somebody else, but it isn't. It's all of us. And I think together we can accomplish more. We certainly can raise more funds together. We certainly can create more awareness together.
Not everybody, not all 1,580 clubs in our area contributes to CART. We need to make people aware.
But that's a story for another time. For now, I made a promise to take a gal dancing, and I don't want to be late. Things don't always go according to plan.
Well, what do you do when the light goes out, you know? I mean, you just stop? You stop living? No, there used to be electricity. People kept going.
The storm has knocked out the power. It's the first power outage the venue has ever experienced. But it's not enough to stop Vera. Fortunately, you don't need the right lighting to dance. You just need the right dance partner.
You want to learn how to
You
do
sure
that.
do
Come
have
on.
a busy dance card, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to dance?
Wait a minute.
You don't know who that is.
I do and I don't.
I'm Carl.
You're kidding.
No, I still am. Are you still? Who are you?
I'm Vera.
Vera. Oh. Well, let's have a dance. How you been feeling?
Doing great.
Good.
It's sad to watch a vibrant life being slowly diminished by an awful disease. But a woman like Vera can give hope to even the darkest situation.
I think you've danced before.
I think I have too. Wonder why we think that.
Even as the disease takes its hold, gradually wearing away at Vera's memories, she dances on. Through the darkness, Vera shines brightly, even as the lights grow dim around her.
You're a fine dancer.
There's not a day I don't think about my mother-in-law. We called her mother-in-love, you know. So, yeah. I've dedicated my life to her memory.
We did it. In the darkness, step on toes. Vera, you still got it.
I still got it.
You still got it. You still got it. You did great. May I have it?
This one, I want to go through this one with you. This gentleman right here was an artist and did this self-portrait of himself in 1967. He knew later on in life that he had something wrong with him, but he didn't know what it was. Turns out it was Alzheimer's, but it used to be where you couldn't determine if a person had Alzheimer's until they passed away through autopsy, is the only way you could determine it. But anyway, he decided he was going to continue doing, through his disease, self-portraits of himself. and you'll see how he viewed himself. This is in early 96, later in 96, early 97, later in 97, 98, 99, his face has completely disappeared, and 2000. It depicts sadness, anxiety, resignation, feelings of feebleness and shame, and this was in the New York Times. His artwork was. Symptoms generally show around the age of 60. Guess how old I was October 8th of this last year? Anybody? 45. Close, 39. But don't give me the four-way test on that. The risk of AD goes up with age, and this is what just blows my mind. 1/3 of Americans over 85 will have Alzheimer's disease. 1/3. That's not acceptable in 2018, folks. And we can do something about that. These are some statistics that are rather interesting. And I'll leave that up there for just a second, let you take a look at that. But look at this. Every 66 seconds, somebody's diagnosed. Somebody gets Alzheimer's in this country every 66 seconds. Facts about Alzheimer's, and again, when I talk about Alzheimer's, it's all dementia. It's the most common form of dementia. It's not part of normal aging. It only worsens over time. It has no current cure, but there are treatments for symptoms available, and research continues. The purpose of CART, we fill a critical research niche to provide startup funding for high-impact, cutting-edge research that is not available from the national big boys and girls. And it started out, we saw this on the film with Rotarians with pocket change, but another thing that I really want to emphasize on this is that 100% of contributions go to research. Awarding of grants, researchers, and the one thing I really want you to see on this is typically we receive 30 to 60 grant applications per year, 30 to 60. Last year, we were able to give out 6 grants. That's not bad, but there's 30 to 60 ideas out there. 30 to 60 ideas. And this is the process, and I'll leave some brochures here that tell about this as well. These are some of the things that have been discovered because of CART. The discovery of LR11 was the first CART grant led by one of the gentlemen that was on the film, and you can see that it was involved with predicting late onset Alzheimer's disease. This is another one, crossing the brain-blood barrier. I'm going to skip to the next two because these really excite me. The CART grant led to the first live positive diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease using an MRI and PIB. You don't have to do it through autopsy anymore. And the technique is being used on a worldwide basis. This is another exciting one. And I had an eye appointment yesterday, and I talked to my eye doctor, and he's heard of this 3 or 4 months ago. He's heard of this. It's not out yet for us to be able to do, but he's heard of it, so it's coming. And this came from a CART grant, being able to diagnose early onset Alzheimer's through a simple eye test. Isn't that awesome? If you could find out early, and then we had the drugs and so forth to help slow that down and hopefully cure the disease, all from those blue buckets. And I won't go over all of these, but it talks about CART bringing leverage. The grants that we give out, once they are able to, these scientists are able to prove their point, and they can take it to the big boys like NIH, the National Institute of Health. They can get larger amounts of money to further their research. CART today is in several states, but it's not in all 50. And you can see that it's in Florida. And this is as of May of 2017. We had 40 grants totaling $6.5 million. I just put this in before I came here. I got an email yesterday. It appears that we're going to be able to award $700,000 to $750,000 this May. And these are the 6 recipients last year. USF has actually received one of our grants as well. And how you can help. CART is a 501c3. If anybody wants to make a donation, larger than coins in your pocket. See me after the meeting. We won't go over all that. I'm sure you know what a 501c3 is. And that's my contact information. I do have business cards that I will leave with you. This is our district. These are the participating clubs so far. On the left-hand side, there's a couple in green. I guess they're not all showing up on the screen, but the two in green, they've had the program, but they just haven't sent me a check yet. And the programs scheduled are down there on the right, and the ones with a star by them, they haven't had the program yet, but they sent me money. So I will be moving Lakeland over to the left when I get home today. So the next program I do, they will see Lakeland over there under participating clubs. How are we doing so far? You see that total at the bottom? It's not 50,000, but it's almost 23,000. And that's not bad. That is not bad, especially when the entire state of Florida last year raised $36,650. And if you want to learn more about CART, www.cartfund.org, or on Facebook at the CART Fund. Actually, I could talk about this all day, and I know you all have to get back to work and so forth, but are there any questions? If you want to, yes, just 1 second. If you want to make a donation in the blue cart, please feel free to do so. And if you want me to take that with me today, I'll count that and put you on the books as having made a donation already. Oh, you have? Oh, okay, great. Anyway, we can take care of that. But yes, sir, your question? Can you hear? Living will directives. I'm not sure about that. I don't think there is one for CART. I know RI does that, but they don't do it for CART right now. I don't know. That's a good question, because I've actually been pondering that myself, because I'm single and I'll probably give everything I have to CART. Absolutely. I'll try to find out for you. Anybody else? Okay, somebody wants to win 50-50.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for bringing this to us. It's something we mentioned at the beginning of the year, and as you noticed, we have the blue bucket at back there. We've been throwing a few bucks in it every week, and we will definitely make sure that you get all those funds. But the blue buckets will appear on our tables every week now for the rest of the year. So I hope you all will bring in a little bit of loose change every week and help this worthy cause.